Welcome to Vegan Method. In this video I'm making a Stromboli. A Stromboli is just a pizza base that's rolled up with the ingredients inside. First thing to do is to make the pizza base. So for this we need 1 cup of warm water. We've got a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. We have a teaspoon of yeast, which has also got a teaspoon of salt in it. And we've got 2.5 cups of grade 00 flour. To go inside the Stromboli, I've got some chili sauce, I've got some olives which I've sliced, some chopped mushrooms, some grated mozzarella cheese, some sun-dried tomatoes and some tomato puree. I've also got some garlic oil to go on the top like an egg wash. I'm adding the dry ingredients to the flour so the yeast and the salt go in, and I mix that up. Then I'll create a well in the middle. I'm going to add the olive oil and then add the warm water in increments just to make sure that it's not too wet to start with. I'm just going to give this a good mix with my hands, adding more flour if it's too wet and more water if it's too dry. This consistency was pretty good actually. It needed a tiny bit more flour at the end, but just give it a good mix and then you can make your own decision about adding more water or more flour. I'm now just going to cover the mixing bowl with some aluminium foil and leave it for roughly 2.5 to 3 hours to let the yeast activate and rise. So after the 3 hours, the pizza base is looking pretty good. I'm now going to get a chopping board, lightly flour it, get my rolling pin and roll out the pizza dough until I've got as much of a rectangle as I can possibly get. When you're rolling this out, you want it to be just as thick as a normal pizza base would be. It wants to be crispy on the outside and not too thin that the filling goes through the pizza base. I've now transferred the pizza base to a baking sheet which is on an oven tray. I'm going to put the ingredients into the Stromboli, roll it and then put it into the oven, which is preheated at 200 degrees. Now, as a Stromboli is technically just a pizza that's rolled up, you can put any ingredients you like into the pizza base. I've gone with this mozzarella because it melts really well and the final outcome is pretty tasty, so this is what I've done on mine. Obviously you can do whatever you prefer. When it comes to rolling the Stromboli, this is the time to be extra careful. You want to roll it gently and as softly as possible. Then you want to seal the edges. Once it's rolled, you'll turn it over so the split end is underneath and that will seal. We'll then tuck the ends in slightly and then we're going to add the garlic oil egg wash. So the egg wash is going to give it a nice brown colour when it's finished cooking. And now what I'm going to do is going to slice it with a very sharp knife just to give me some areas to cut when it's finished cooking. This also lets a little bit of the ingredients out and flavours the pizza base a little bit more. So now I'm just going to pop it into the oven for about 15 minutes. It'll cook until it's brown on the outside and it'll be nice and crispy. And then when you take it out of the oven, it should look something like this. So as you can see, the cheese is all gooey and melted. The insides are cooked, the outside is crispy. And you can either at this point serve half of it, for example, or you can chop it into little slices where we've done the cuts. Either way, it's just a delicious meal. I love Stromboli. I personally find it better than a pizza because I can pick it up and dip it easier. It doesn't fall apart. It's not soggy. It's just a great recipe. Thank you very much for watching. Please feel free to like, subscribe or leave comments below, and have a happy new year.